But if you were coming back in season 7, because obviously we have no idea, it's not like any of you have been posting pictures of yourselves in Scotland this year doing stuff. What would your hopes be for your evil character? What? Nothing.
Sanditon is fast becoming the most desirable destination on the south coast.
I am besieged by fortune hunters.
How are we to attract rich husbands unless we look the part?
Came here to avoid all that.
Alice, it's so nice to see you. It's been
too long. Yeah, too long.
I think you were the only person I didn't chat to at the Outlander premiere because you aired me and walked off.
I did not know that. Basically, let's run that back a little bit, shall we? That fact that actually you get told by the people that aren't watching this, thank God.
Yeah.
You get given like designated people to talk to, you know. And I wasn't down as one of your requests apparently. So
no, that's not how it works. That's absolutely not how it works. But that happens in the junket. But during a premiere, the way it works is you lovely people arrive with your individual publicist and you get taken down the line, and your publicist, not always you, decide to talk to whoever you think is important. And that's kind of how it works. Having said that, your co-stars of Outlander everybody was so nice. Nobody was wow. Everybody was so forthcoming, so silly, so just excited to be there.
Yeah, I feel like had you met me, then this what we're having right now wouldn't have happened. So
why? Because you would have hated me.
No, listen. I also want to say because I hope you put this in, that I think you're one of the most natural, hardworking people that I've seen on social media.
Thank you. That makes me so
I'm kind of a big fan of watching how busy you are. I mean, like let's go behind the scenes. We've been trying to, me and you personally, been trying to organise this for about 500 years, and it's been impossible not because of me, but because of your
no, because of both of us.
And listen, this isn't about you. It's not about you. It's about me.
It's about you.
I have a job as a governess.
I have never possessed such power.
No one chooses to be a spinster.
Talk to me about you. Why are you always dressing up and doing these outrageously amazing roles where you get to play dress up as a job?
Well, let's talk about what acting is for me. I think that's a really good start, because acting for me is it's a guise, right? It's stepping into someone else's shoes so that I don't get to sort of exist in my own sort of headspace for a while, you know. And weirdly, you know, you don't get to choose your career path when you leave drama school. You get an agent and you try. It's what we call the scattergun technique. When you leave drama school, your agent sort of just throws you at everyone, every casting director, you know. And I got my sort of really big TV role, was this thing called it's an army drama called Private, and I went straight into Merlin after it. And both costume dramas, both of the past. Since then, I've coined a sort of a market for myself, a niche, which is period dramas. You know, I haven't done anything modern really. So I start to complain about it. You know, like a couple of years ago, I started to complain to my agent about why can't I get seen for that Hackney Tower slasher film in modern day drama? Like, why can't I turn up in jeans and t-shirt and then get out of my costume and put jeans and t-shirt on? That was, you know, and my agent's like, listen, don't bite the hand that feeds you. And I kind of I really do enjoy the aspect of time travel in you know, he says with the TARDIS, but the idea of living a different generation, and Charles Lockhart, especially with Sanditon, was just kind of a real blessing of a role, like just a gift. And if you think about it, last year, Max, I started Outlander season 6 on January the 6th.
Wow.
I filmed it for 6 months. We finished the end of May. I had about a month off. I directed a short film in that time, and then I went to Bristol and filmed until December the 12th. So if you think about my whole year, January the 6th to December the 12th, I basically existed in Highland, Scotland, well, Highland, North Carolina, and then Sanditon, sweepy beaches in Bristol. So
I am dying to hear your first impressions of Sanditon, Colonel.
I was struck by its natural beauty.
You can't recapture what you had with Sydney.
Do you have a moment of like, script, page 5. Oh shit, I'm in the water. I've got to take my shirt off. It's like,
they're like mini ones that keep happening basically. So like you get given a script and then you read it and you think great. Like with Charles, I got, you know, they sort of wrote it for me. Justin Young, who's the writer of Sanditon, has I've worked with Red Planet, did Death in Paradise with them. Justin Young, his brother is Rupert Young, who was in Merlin with me. So I've known Justin for a really long time, and the idea that they really wanted me for Charles, which was really nice. But then you start reading the scripts and and you think, oh, well, there's that bit when he comes out the sea, and you clock it in your head as, okay, probably need to start looking after myself a little bit. And then you have a makeup test and a costume test. And that's maybe like a couple of weeks later. And then the makeup artist and the costume people are like, oh, and remember, we have to talk about the sarong when you come out the sea. So then there's another little bit of like and you go, oh yeah, God, must remember to stop eating biscuits, you know, and then 2 days before I do the sea, I've got caramel fudge from Scotland.
Nice. Well, that's a cheap one.
I know, true. And then 2 days before the shoot, you get brought in for a spray tan, full body spray tan, and I think it's during that moment. And 2 days isn't, you've got no chance in 2 days to make yourself change. But like in 2 days, you're standing there getting spray tanned. You've got a hairnet on. You've got these like stick-on flip-flop things, so that you can walk around. And I'm standing there getting spray tanned in this tiny little modesty pouch thing.
Love it.
And it was in that moment I think, oh yeah, crap, I've got to get nude in 2 days. But I think it's arguably one of the greatest kind of really modern entrances of an Austen ever, really.
But I feel like you guys make it look so effortless, but obviously I know how much goes into it, how many people are there and all the rest of it. In Sanditon, you've got a bit of a love, little romance relationship going on. And I feel like the character, tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
When I saw him walking up the promenade, I was like, oh my God, he is you in some ways. Like really flamboyant, really just out there. He doesn't really conform. The shirt's a bit too open. I'm thinking, did you feel like you did chuck in bits of you, and did you enjoy all the romance part of it?
I think there's a point when you're an actor where you get given roles and you think, they're asking me to do the role because they know what I bring to the table. So then there can never be a point where you stop instinctually giving them ideas, because otherwise they could have hired Joe down the street to do the job. They're asking you, it's kind of like a double compliment. They want you to play the role, but they're also writing it for you. They also want you to contribute your instinctual ideas to it. So Charles Lockhart is definitely 70% me and 30% of the writing, in terms of, I didn't want to wear a hat, I didn't want to have a cane. The button was always one bit too low and they kept telling me off, and I was like, no, this is him. I just kept pushing the directors, Charles Sturridge and the director Natosha, I was pushing them to that idea that if selfies were around, everyone on that beach would be trying to take a selfie with Lockhart. Like but we haven't got that idea yet. So what can we do? And it's about gulping. It's about the parasols and the sort of the shyness and just also the audacity of the guy.
Ben Lloyd Hughes.
Ben Lloyd Hughes, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed nobody pulled him up on this. He said this in a few interviews, and I think it's out of order.
Right. Oh,
okay.
God.
So when he was cast, he hadn't watched the show, right? So he made a decision, because he didn't want to influence his character, because his character's not supposed to know the backstory. He thought, oh, I'm not going to watch it. But then he thought, maybe I should. So he started watching it. Mid through watching it, he realizes he's watching Bridgerton.
Yeah.
He then doesn't carry on finding Sanditon and watching it properly, because he then goes back to his original plan of, I'm just not going to know what's going on because I'm going to play my character better. Sorry, no. Dude has got one of the biggest roles in the show. He's watching Bridgerton, and it took him a few episodes to realise this is not the show I'm going to be in. Alex, speak to me. Thoughts?
I can't talk on behalf of another actor.
I mean, come on, Alex. That is like, if I was the director right now and you are a bit like the director, I would be like, mate, I'm going to take this role off you.
Listen. I've known Ben for quite a while, actually. I've known Ben since, we graduate drama school at the same time, not the same drama school, but different drama schools.
Does it surprise you? Is this normal Ben behaviour? Does it surprise you?
Well, it surprised me when he did. It surprised me with how open and honest he was in interviews about it. That's what I think. Not the doing of, but how open and honest he was about the fact that he hasn't watched the show. So listen, I did watch Sanditon. So I will say this: I did watch Sanditon.
Yeah.
I'm a good boy. I did my homework. I didn't watch Bridgerton. I watched Sanditon. But also, I will say this: I will back him up on one thing: is that he knew that he was taking on what basically is the role that Theo James has in that love interest. And I think not being swayed by any of Theo's decisions or Theo's acting decisions and choices with Charlotte is actually a really smart move. I think people that let's go back to Merlin. I had to take over from Asa Butterfield as Mordred. I watched everything that Asa did.
Oh God!
And it helped me because I was taking over a role. Whereas if you're taking over the role but not necessarily the same character, I think what Ben did was by trying to avoid anything that Theo had done. I think that's a really good shout. But also, don't admit that you're watching Bridgerton.
What about dancing? That is you. We know you love to have fun. So is that you in your element when you get to
do you know what? I hate the rehearsal, but I love the performance. It's a classic actor thing, isn't it? Hated the idea that I had to come in on my days off for a day on end just to learn a period dance. And then a week later, the minute everyone's in costume and the music starts playing and there's like a live band, my God, I couldn't stop wanting to do the bloody dance. I was out. And also, I got given the jig. There's some dances that are like, like slow and kiss and slow and move. And mine's like ding, 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 ding. So basically, it felt like they choreographed a dance.
You cannot tell me, and I know you've been on some massive shows and you're on a massive one right now, anything comes close to the Outlander fan base. It is like Harry Styles fan base. It is like a pop artist fan base. Do you feel it? Or am I just like overhyping it?
You're not overhyping it at all. I've been blessed. With 4 huge shows with 4 huge families. Merlin, Versailles, Sanditon, and Outlander. And listen, some actors go through their whole career never working on a show like this. Anywhere. So I've had 4, but I will say that the Outlander fans are
nuts.
The top of the lot in terms of their tenacity for the show. Some people are like, well, I love my show more, and that can be an argument between all the fandoms. I'm not going to say that, but they have a tenacity about them that listen, I did my first Outlander specific convention. It was a Highlanders 5.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
And considering Alan Christie in season 6 is only on screen really for 22 minutes, it felt like I was on screen for 22 million hours. They absolutely couldn't get enough of me and the fact that they loved Alan, and it made me feel incredibly loved. For a role, if you read the books, isn't particularly a great role, So Alan's not, Alan treads that really fine line, but they can see through the character to the person. And listen, as you know, I take great pride in engaging with the audience. I take great pride on being quite active on social media and talking back to fans and giving them, as much as I can really of myself. So when I do conventions, I really enjoy that time. But yeah, it was fun.
Do you know
it was
what?
fun, and they're up there in terms of
whenever I think of Alan, and I don't know why this is, but I just always think about when he got whipped by Sam, like as in Jamie, like that always comes to mind. Just
episode one, it's all downhill from there, mate. But yeah, no, listen, I just had I'm just lucky. I'm really lucky, blessed to have all these fans now coming with me on different projects, And
I love how like sweet and unaffected you are by all this crazy stuff you're doing. No, you got married recently, congratulations. And it's so nice to see you and your other half just celebrating normal life amongst this crazy stuff that you're doing. And I often always think, where is the balance? Where does it come from? Like yesterday, I left my phone at home to have a day with best friend and do things and be present because my phone is such a distraction. You seem to ride between balance of having a good normal life and this crazy life as well. It takes its toll. It really does, And I suffer with depression and stuff like that. So I have sometimes days where I'm not active on anything because I have to have my phone off. I have to take a day for myself away from everything.
it's about finding a balance, you know. And some days I get the balance really wrong. My wife will tell me that you've done too much of one thing and not enough of looking after yourself. Or I've done too much looking after myself and haven't answered enough emails. There's a really fine line. But listen, I'm glad that you say that, because I feel like I'm 34 now and I'm trying to figure out still what this industry is about.
What season is Outlander next season? Is it 7 or 8? 7.
7.
Season 7. This is a bit that the PRs will throttle me, and then you'll be fine. I'll just get blocked of ever doing a Stars interview again. But
well,
it'd be really fun of me not to even ask, but you just don't tell me anything. But if you were coming back in season 7, because obviously we have no idea, it's not like any of you have been posting pictures of yourselves in Scotland this year doing stuff. What would your hopes be for your evil character? What? Nothing. Danielle will be so happy. Danielle will be so happy. This is good, because my interview with Samantha Morton with Stars won't get cancelled now, so that's good.
Right.
You
were asking me what was next. Let's talk about what was next.
Yeah, like, okay, that's so good. Like, you're so well behaved. I love it. Is this like starting to hit you that when you're on these big shows, spoilers, shut up, Alex? I'm
the worst. I'm the fucking worst. I'm the worst. I'm the worst. I'm the worst. I've been told off so many times.
Do you?
Emails from agents, from publicity, from because I'm so excited. So yeah, I've learned. Weirdly, you'll laugh at this.
I reckon.
My wife this morning told me.
Yeah.
She said, if Max asks you about Outlander 7,
don't say anything.
Cancel that meeting. You cancel that. She was
my
God. Because in a joking way, but because she knows that if I start an answer, I'll end up just telling you the whole fucking story.
No, I know, but you know what? I think it's good, because if you keep doing it, you're going to end up the cast member that never gets put into junkets. And I'd hate that, because you're like one of the best. So can you imagine it'd be like season 7, junkets, and everyone's in the promo and Alex is looking down saying, why am I not there? Because you tell too many things.
Yeah, I know, because they just don't. I'm like Tom Holland of Marvel, and Mark Ruffalo of Marvel. Yeah, Marvel. They just don't want to.
Those are great people to want to be like. Okay, listen. Final thing. What is the plans? Because I feel like this year feels like it's the longest year, but it's also in a lot of ways been really exciting, especially for you. You're doing your own thing. You're making your own films. You're short.
Yeah. So yeah, I've set up a production company called Cowhouse Films, and we've done 4 films now together. And at the moment, I'm currently in the process of co-writing a feature film with Evan Williams, who played the Chevalier in Versailles. He was my best man at my wedding. He's my best friend. So at the moment, we're writing a film. It's called. Yeah, I can give you the title. The title is.
Want to check with the wife?
No.
Okay.
No, she's not there. And the film, the title's called Shoeless Summer, and it's about me and Evan would be in the film. I'll be directing it, and it's going to be fun. So yeah, I've been spending, the last, I'd say 2 solid months really with him, storyboarding and writing and creating, and we've got some really lovely meetings with some producers. So it's exciting. It feels like it's a goer, which is good. So just concentrate, and also I'm hopefully going to go back and do some theatre at the end of this year. Cross fingers, that's something's happening. And I'm still auditioning, and I've got some stuff coming up potentially that weirdly this week is kind of a critical week to find out some exciting news and stuff. So I took May, June, and July as writing months, which is nice.
Prequel of Outlander. What are your thoughts? What do you think about this?
Yeah, I've really got no opinion on it, because I sometimes think that not everything needs to have a universe. But I know that if it's the same writers and the same team that are creating that huge show, then I think it's going to be as wonderful.
Yeah, well, I'm literally like Game of Thrones, which is it's House of the Dragon. Then we've got Lord of the Rings series coming, which Sophie Clark, fellow Welsh actress.
I love Marvin. Me and Marvin did National Youth Theatre of Wales together. We were both 16. I've known her since she was a duck, so it's amazing to see her.
Oh, I chatted to her for this brilliant scary film.
St. Maud, yes. Right?
Yeah, she was in New Zealand, and Alex, she's so much better than you. She was like, I can't tell you anything. And I was like, come on, and she was cute in it. And she gave me nothing. nothing. And I was like, geez, you're like the best if you were under.
Yeah, no, I'm the opposite.
My final thing is this: although you are telling me in season 3 Charles is going to be a bit of a twat,
Yeah.
Are you as a person quite romantic? Because Jane Austen is kind of up there, isn't she? So, so are you quite a romantic person?
Yeah,
I'm silly shit. Are you quite romantic?
I'm old school like that.
Are you? Prove it. Tell me one romantic thing you have done recently for your wife, and don't tell me you married her. That does not count.
So it was a 30th birthday on Saturday, and she told me a long time ago that she did not want to celebrate in London. So I organised for all of her friends to get on the same train as us, and we left for Edinburgh at 8 a.m. I bought a breakfast hamper full of orange juice, croissants, pain au chocolat, flowers, champagne, prosecco, berries. Put the hamper on the train. She arrived on the carriage, and she saw all of her friends. We got there. We stayed in a 5-star hotel in Edinburgh, Cheval, and then I got the singer Grigor, who sings the opening of Outlander in season 6, the beautiful voice. I met with him in Edinburgh, and he came and sang up to us on the balcony of Harvey Nicks, looking out while the fireworks are going off. So,
I'm toasting you right now with no tea in my cup, mate. Wow.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I've got a little romantic little romantic card that I can pull out of my pocket.
Good.
Here we go.
That makes me happy. That makes me really happy.
Yeah, you're smiling. I like that. Well, let's end the interview there before I make you sad.
Okay, listen, have a lovely day. We are going. I can't wait to see you in person. Say hi to your beautiful wife as well. I hope she had a great birthday, and we will catch up soon.
Yeah, listen, Max. Again, like I said, you're the best. You're the best of the best of us. So keep doing what you're doing.
How are you? Back at you, and don't change. And good luck this week with the news for the job thing that you went for.
Thanks, mate.
Okay,
bye, love.
Bye. 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 Bye.